What I Saw and How I Lied is a young adult novel penned by Judy Blundell, published by Scholastic in 2008. The book garnered acclaim by winning the prestigious U.S. National Book Award for Young People's Literature. Set against the backdrop of post-World War II America, this narrative unfolds as a compelling coming-of-age tale, chronicling the experiences of Evie, a teenage girl residing in the year 1947. Through Evie's perspective, readers are immersed in a year filled with both significant political events and personal upheavals. The story commences with Evie and her mother, Beverly, seeking refuge in a Palm Beach, Florida hotel room. Paralyzed by fear of being recognized from newspaper headlines, they remain confined to their quarters. Evie lies on the bed, feigning slumber, all the while acutely aware of her mother's silent presence. The following morning, Evie embarks on a solitary bike ride to the beach, contemplating the events of the past year and the potential actions that could have altered their course. Yet, she keeps the reader in suspense, withholding the actual pivotal events. Evie harkens back to the catalyst for the tumultuous series of events, which occurred just prior to her stepfather's decision to whisk the family away on a Florida vacation. Before these events unfolded, Evie had been leading the life of an ordinary teenager in her Queens neighborhood. She dabbled in the art of pretending to smoke candy cigarettes and engaged in typical teenage chatter about boys with her friend Margie. However, her sense of self was distinctively marked by her father's absence. In addition to the void left by her father, her home life was marred by constant conflict, with her mother and grandmother locked in perpetual disputes. Enter Joe, her stepfather, who unexpectedly reappears following his service as a soldier in the U.S. Army during the war's conclusion. Joe's return brings gifts, an influx of money supposedly obtained through a GI loan, and the establishment of appliance stores that bring financial prosperity. However, beneath the veneer of success lies Joe's discontent and the shadow of his drinking habits. Evie begins to discern that Joe's demeanor is shifting, attributing his altered behavior to the lingering effects of his wartime experiences, which he steadfastly avoids discussing. Out of the blue, Joe decides to whisk them away to Palm Beach, Florida, even though it's December and the hotel there is sparsely populated. Nevertheless, they chance upon Mr. and Mrs. Grayson, with whom they strike up a social acquaintance. During their stay, Evie crosses paths with a boy named Wally at the hotel, but she fails to warm up to him due to their shared age, which she deems too youthful. In her mind, Evie considers herself more mature than her years would suggest, harboring an inclination toward men of significantly greater age. Her attention is soon captivated by Peter Coleridge, whom she encounters at the hotel's pool area. Peter's older, more adult demeanor resonates with her, prompting an instant attraction. This burgeoning connection with Peter exerts a profound influence on Evie, rapidly sparking an infatuation while diverting her attention from the unfolding events around her. She introduces Peter to her parents, not realizing that he and Joe share a past from their wartime service together. Joe's evident disapproval of Peter puzzles Evie, and she attributes it to the significant age gap between her and Peter, assuming Joe's disapproval to be rooted in that difference. During a private moment, Peter confesses to Evie that he and Joe were involved in the theft of valuable items from Austria after the war, with the goods originally looted by the Germans from Jewish victims. They had stolen precious jewelry, gold, and cherished family heirlooms. Joe had sold the stolen items and was supposed to share the proceeds with Peter. Evie grapples with the revelation of her stepfather's involvement in theft, particularly from Jewish prisoners, and struggles to reconcile this revelation with her own moral values. Evie's mother often accompanies her and Peter on their outings, leading Evie to initially believe that her mother's presence is due to old-fashioned beliefs and a desire for chastity. However, she eventually discerns that her mother and Peter are engaged in a clandestine affair. As the narrative unfolds, Evie becomes increasingly aware of the prevailing hypocrisy that surrounds her. Amidst this backdrop, Joe insists on embarking on an ocean fishing trip with Peter and Beverly, further entangling the web of complex relationships within their midst. As a hurricane looms on the horizon, their boat becomes adrift at sea for a harrowing 2 days. Ultimately, Joe and his wife are miraculously found alive, yet Peter has tragically perished. The precise events that unfolded on that ill-fated boat remain shrouded in mystery, but suspicions of foul play cast a shadow over Joe. In the midst of the ensuing investigation, Evie's perception of her parents becomes increasingly clouded by their deceit. She grapples with the realization that she must now engage in deception if she hopes to shield them from the authorities' suspicions. Resolute in her decision, she opts to fabricate her testimony to the lawyer, a choice that comes at the cost of her own reputation. As the novel draws to a close, Evie emerges profoundly changed. No longer the trusting and naive girl she once was, she has acquired a newfound maturity. She has learned to extricate herself from the complexities of her parents' actions, recognizing the need to forge her own path independently. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did and be sure to subscribe. Thank you.